Hi, happy Monday. Welcome back from spring break. Today is Monday, March 30th, and I can't wait to hear about everybody's spring break and all the fun things that you did with your families. We are going to get together tomorrow for a Google Hangout from 10:30 to 11, and then we'll have another Google Hangout on Friday from 10:30 to 11. So be looking for those invitations. Go ahead and talk about etiquette for when we have Hangouts with Mom and Dad. I know Mr. Wehunt sent home an email with lots of good tips, and we need to make sure we stick to those when we talk, because there's lots of us trying to learn together. So just remember that when you're on, your microphone needs to be off unless I've called on you. And then when you're done with your turn, you need to turn your microphone off again. Please make sure that don't type comments in unless you have a specific question about something that I said that you just don't understand. If you listen carefully, most of the time I answer the questions as I'm speaking, but if there's something that I missed or something I've gone over too fast and you have a question, go ahead and type that in the comments. But that's it. If you want to say hi to people, then you go ahead and FaceTime them or text them when we're not in class together, okay? The other thing that I think we're going to remember, the hand signals. You guys did such a good job of that on last Friday before we went on spring break. So thumbs up means I'm good, I understand it. Thumbs down means, Mrs. Dixon, can you say that again? Or I didn't quite catch that. So those hand signals, using the comments for valid questions, important questions only, listening carefully to Mrs. Dixon, and keeping your mic off unless it's your turn to talk. And like I said, so before it's your turn to talk and after it's your turn to talk, keep the mic off, okay? That way everybody can hear each other. The other thing we're going to talk about today is the times 10 test before I start talking about today's math lesson. So we went on to our virtual learning before we got a chance to take the times 10 test, and I know all of you are ready. The 10s are not super challenging, but sometime this week I'd like you to log on to your IXL account. You know your username and password are in the front of your student planner, so go to the IXL, go to the Davidson Day IXL website. I'll send a link home with the directions for today's lessons, so you can click on that. And then go ahead and go to the times 10 activities and go ahead and complete the times 10 activity sometime this week. And I think that I'd like you to get 90 to 100% correct so you feel like you passed. If you don't quite get that, then try it again on another day, okay? You're also going to see that I copied 2 of the times 11 pages because we're going to go on to times 11 from the mathreels.com. You can use those pages and you can download them and print them, or you can just take them and write the answers down as you go. I'd like you to start practicing your times 11. We're going to do the times 11 test on IXL the same way that we're doing the times 10 test, but we'll have a couple weeks before we get to that, okay? So finish the times 10 test using IXL, 90% or higher. Times 11, use the mathreels.com, and then you can use your IXL to practice the times 11s as well, just like we would in class, okay? Today we're on math lesson 8-7, and that was the math lesson that I asked you to move from the week 1 folder to the week 2 folder. So we're on week 2. It says week 2 after spring break. And go ahead and pull out your lesson for 8-7. Hopefully you moved that from week 1 to week 2. All right, the first activity today you're going to need to follow the directions on this page. You're also going to need your fraction cards. The fraction cards I sent home in the brown bag. They look like this on the front. They have the fraction circle and the number line on the front. And on the back they have the corresponding fractions. Yours are already cut out for you and in a Ziploc bag. We've used them in class several times. You're going to need those for this activity. You're going to be making a fraction number line you can use blue tape, painter's tape, and put it on the floor, or you can go outside and draw a line on your sidewalk. However is easiest for you. You can use sidewalk chalk. If you've misplaced your fraction cards, you can't find them, you can make your own fraction cards using index cards, or you can just cut paper out, okay? So go ahead and do that with Mom and Dad. You are going to need a grown-up to check this for you. Now remember, to decide if the fractions are equal, the best way to do it is by looking at how much of the circle is shaded. So like I can look at this and see that both halves of this circle is shaded. So this is 2 halves, and all 3 parts of this circle are shaded. This is 3/3. and I can see the same amount of this circle and this circle are shaded. That means 2/2 and 3/3 are equal fractions. They're the same. So when I put them on the number line, they'll be in the same place. I'd really like you to do this with the wholes, like 0/0 or 1/1. I'd like you to try it with the halves, the fourths, and the eighths. So try it with all of those. If you want an extra challenge, do it with all the fraction cards. I think that'd be great. But try it at least with the wholes, the halves, the fourths, and the eighths, okay? The next thing we're going to do, you're going to need your math journal, and you're going to need those fraction circle pieces. And those are the colored pieces. You can see what they look like. And those should be in a Ziploc bag in your brown bag as well. Those, if you cannot find them, if you've misplaced them, look on the very back cover page of your math journal and you can see them. They're not colored in, but they have the codes and they tell you that the red circle is the whole, the pinks are the halves, the oranges are the thirds, the yellows are the fourths, and so on, okay? So you can use that to help you while you're doing your math journal pages. All right? Then you're going to need to go in your math journal. I believe it's page 269. Let me just make sure. Yep, to page 269 and 270 today. So 269 and 270 asks you, first you're going to follow the directions on this by reading it carefully with mom and dad. And then it asks you which part of the circle is missing. So the number 1 says the red circle is the whole. So if this was the whole, that means the whole circle. What part of the whole is missing? So you can see they have one pink half here and the other half is missing. So what could you write? How much is missing? 1 out of 2 parts is missing. That means 1/2 is missing. So you can write 1/2 here. And then you're going to write a fraction that's equal to 1/2. What's another fraction you know that's the same as 1/2? That's right. It could be 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, etc. Okay? The same thing for number 2. You can see that it says what fraction of the whole is missing. Remember, the red is the whole circle. So we're going to talk about the whole circle. And we can see that there's 3 yellow pieces and 1 is missing. So that means that this circle is divided into 4 parts. You can see that 3/4 are there. What's missing? That's right, 1/4. So you're going to write 1/4 on a line and then find fractions equal to 1/4. On the back, on the next page, you can see that I used my ruler to draw a line. On yours, it just looks, this is all white and this is all white. I used my ruler to draw a line. That helps me visualize what's missing. So you can see that this is 1/3 and that there are 2 more thirds that are missing. You can also see that on this circle would be divided into 6, and that we can see 4 of the 6 are there and 2 out of the 6 are missing. So go ahead and write the fractions that are missing, which is different than a lot of times we say, what do we see? What's shaded? We're not saying that today. We're saying what's missing. Okay, so make sure you're looking for the missing parts. So here 2 out of 3 parts are missing. Here 2 out of 6 parts are missing. And then find equal fractions for 2/3 and 2/6. And then down here, we've reviewed this before. It says, how do you know when fractions are equivalent? Well, that's right. The same amount of the circle is shaded. So when you look at those fraction cards that you put on your number line, you can see that the circles that have the same amount shaded are equivalent fractions. And the last thing I need you to do today is the home link for 8-7. Go ahead and do that. Take a picture of it. You can upload it to Google Classroom. And your parents can text me a picture if that's easier. I sent your parents directions for how to upload your images to Google Classroom to turn them in. And that's a nice way for me to check it. They're all in the same place. But if it's easier for you to text them to me, that's fine too. Okay, so today we're going to move on to language arts now. For language arts, we're on Unit 5, Week 2. So this is going to be your language arts packet that you're going to use this week. You can see the spelling list is on the front. If we remember, We're on Unit 5, and our Unit 5 big idea is what are ways people can take action. And this week, our stories are going to have to do with how can we reuse things that we already have. How can we reuse what we already have? That's this week's essential question. So all our stories this week are going to deal with that essential question. We are going to have a turn and talk now using our cards, okay? So you can listen to I'm going to go ahead and read the vocabulary word with the definition, and then I'm going to talk about the image on the card, and then I'm going to give you something to think about, to talk about with mom and dad, and you're going to use the word I talked about again in your turn and talk, okay? So, the first word today is conservation. Conservation is when we take care of our natural resources. We don't waste things. So in this picture, Kara's light bulb saves energy, and it's a good example of conservation. Can you think of another example of conservation? Maybe your family is good about turning off lights or not wasting water. Maybe you turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth. Or you don't use paper plates when you eat dinner. Maybe you use real plates. So all of those things are ways that you can conserve and not waste materials. Go ahead and talk about some things that maybe your family does to show conservation. Ready? Turn and talk. Okay. The second word today is discouraged. When people are discouraged, they are made to feel like giving up. Sean felt discouraged when he and his mom couldn't find his lost football. What would make you feel discouraged? I want you to turn and talk with your mom or dad about a time you felt discouraged and what made you feel that way. Did somebody do something? Or did something just happen that made you feel discouraged? Go ahead, turn and talk. Okay. Our third word this week is frustration. Frustration is a feeling of being upset because you can't have or do something. In this picture, Diane gasped out of frustration when her computer screen went blank. Can you tell about a time you showed frustration? How did your face look? Probably mad. So go ahead and talk with your mom or dad about a time when you felt frustration. And how did your face look? The next word is gazed. You can see that in this picture, this girl is using a telescope and she gazed at the sky. She's gazing at the stars through her telescope. Have you ever gazed at the stars? I know we gaze at the moon when we talk about our moon phases every day in math calendars. So I know you've gazed at the moon before, but have you ever used a telescope to gaze at the stars? With a partner, I want you to make a list of some things you might have gazed at. Maybe you were out taking a walk in nature and you saw a butterfly or some birds or some other animal and you gazed for a while. The next word, go ahead and turn and talk about that. The next word is jubilant. If you feel jubilant, you feel very happy or joyful. In this picture, Ryan's team felt jubilant and delighted when they won the contest. They're cheering and celebrating. They feel jubilant, super happy. Can you tell mom or dad about a time when you felt jubilant? Explain what made you feel this way and how you celebrated. Turn and talk using the word jubilant. Okay, another word we're going to see in a lot of our stories this week is recycling. You're going to see that a lot because part of conservation is recycling. In this picture, you can see that Sheila is recycling empty containers. Do you know what recycling means? It's when you put objects or materials through a special process so that they can be used again. In this picture, the girl is recycling some containers so that they can be reused. That's a good thing to do for the environment. With your partner, can you turn and talk about some things that you recycle at home? Do you recycle plastic shampoo bottles or maybe water bottles? Do you recycle, we recycle a lot of milk cartons at my house because my kids drink a lot of milk. What's something that you can recycle at home? Put through that process so it can be used again. Go ahead and turn and talk. Use the word recycling. Okay, our next word is remaining. Oh, look how cute. Baby bulldogs. All right, all my dog lovers will like this picture, right, Ryan? Okay, something remaining is still in a certain place. These 7 puppies are remaining after we gave 2 away. How many days of school are remaining this week? It's Monday. That's right, 4. Okay. This picture demonstrates the word remaining. These puppies still need a home. 2 were given away, but 7 puppies are remaining. Maybe you could talk about something that's remaining at your house. For example, maybe you ate some bagels and there's only a few remaining in the package. Or maybe you took some markers out of your marker box and there's only a few remaining in the box. So can you think of some things that are remaining and use the word remaining in your turn and talk? Thanks. All right, our last word this week is tinkered. And you can see that Dad and his son have some tools in their hands and it looks like they're trying to fix a bike. So tinkered means you made small changes to something. And in this picture, John and his dad tinkered with the bike and got it working again. Can you think of another word for tinkered? Maybe fixed, right? All right, I want you to think of a time you tinkered with something, maybe tried to get it working again, or maybe just wanted to take it apart and see how it worked and then put it back together again. So turn and talk with your mom or dad using the word tinkered. Okay, thank you so much for doing such a great job with the turn and talk this morning. Remember, you are going to be seeing all of those words throughout our stories this week that we read. You're also going to see 5 of them on our spelling and vocab test. That's your next activity for this morning. You're going to be working to take your spelling pretest first. So have mom or dad call out list 1 for you. Write the words on a sheet of paper, then have mom and dad check it. If you get all the words right or you only missed 1, then you're ready for a challenge and you're going to tackle list 2 this week. Otherwise, list 1 is good for you. Stay with that. All right, on the next page, you see another list and then the place where we usually write our spelling words. Now, I thought it would be fun today is if you have sidewalk chalk, go outside and write your words from list 1 or list 2, whichever one you're studying this week, on the sidewalk or your driveway. That would be fun, wouldn't it? If you don't have sidewalk chalk, but you have an inside chalkboard or whiteboard or just some colored pens or pencils and some paper, go ahead and write them on that. That might be a fun, different way to do it. I'd still like you to write the vocabulary words and the definitions down here, but go ahead and take your list 1 or list 2 words and try it a different way this week. Then you're also going to complete page 128. This week, we are going to be working in our cursive book today. So today we're going to tackle R and S. And I have a whiteboard here. Oh, good, I have my marker too. A lot of supplies for one class lesson. And we're going to work on lowercase r and lowercase s. So lowercase r is going to start at what we call the ground line, and it's going to touch the clothesline and then go back down to the ground line. So cursive r, it's going to go up again, and back down. Easy enough, right? Lowercase cursive s looks like a little sail. So you're going to go up, out, come back and touch that line, and then go on to what would be your next letter. Okay? Capital R and capital S are not too different. So capital R, you're going to start by making a little hook and going down. And I say that's sliding down the rope. And then we're going to climb right back up the rope, make the top of your R, and then make a slide. Capital S is a tricky one, so you might have to rewind and watch me do this a couple of times. So you're going to go up, above the clothesline, do a little back flip, and go out in front and touch the line. Now, capital R does connect to the next letter in a word, but capital S does not. Okay? So if Ryan was writing his name, the R would connect to the Y. But if he was writing Stella's name, the S would not connect to the T. Okay? All right. You guys have a great morning. Make sure you text me any questions if I haven't answered anything. I I think everything's been pretty well explained, so I will see you tomorrow. And don't forget, you look for that Google Hangout invitation. Don't forget to go to IXL and tackle those 10s this week. It's time for that. Bye, guys. Have a good day.